Now this guy, he's driving a bicycle, and it looks like it's a box behind, but it's actually an LED animated display on all sides. And it says, "Against the Corona, bitte bleiben Sie zu Hause." Please stay at home. Let's see what else it says. Only in Berlin, right? This might be the first ever Bicycle Mojo moving interview. I have no idea. Clearly he's got batteries in his bike. Can barely catch him. Yeah. Only gemeinsam schaffen. So. Nur gemeinsam schaffen wir das. Only together wir bleiben zu Hause. Alles good?
Good.
Yeah, need some exercise too, yeah? Good. Yes, sporty. Okay, so that's the social distancing mojo interview. Get everyone to speak up, repeat what they say, so that your audience understands.
Bye-bye.
Tschüssi. This is Rob Montgomery in Berlin, reporting for the Smart Film School. This is the Rosenthaler Platz, and normally all of these shops, all of these cafes, pizza, burgers, currywurst, they're all loaded with tourists. But there's only a few that are open. I'm gonna go try and find one, and only a few tourists hanging out. This is the Kreuzburger, one of the best burger places in Mitte. And what we're seeing here is that very similar notices are going up to what we saw in Crete, which is on the 13th of March, basically all cafes were only allowed to do takeout service. So here they are open from 10 until 6 and only for takeaway. And you're not allowed to sit inside. They have blocked it off. I'll wait till these guys order, and then I'll order my burger. This is Rob Montgomery in Berlin. It is the last day of winter, the 22nd of March. It is a Sunday, and there are people outside. There are cars on the road. Social distancing seems to be taking place, particularly up here on the S-Bahn trains going in and out of the Tiergarten station. Very few riders, maybe one per car. I've seen very many empty trains, but they are running, and people are getting the blood flowing, which is something that doctors recommend that I spoke to yesterday. And deep breathing, very important to not sit in your flat while you're experiencing this. So we are gonna go around, do some observations with the camera. I'm gonna be using this vehicle, my trusty bike. This is where all my Mojo equipment stores, and will be mobile. The nice thing about reporting from the bike lane in Berlin is that, well, there's protected bike lanes, there's laws to help bikers. Here's the homeless. They are bundling up here because it is a very cold day in Germany. we're gonna head, as you can see, down the street here towards the Victory Column and towards the TV Tower. I'm gonna take you through the Tiergarten. I'm doing my best here to report from the bike lane with one hand on the bike and one hand on my Mojo rig, which is an iPhone 11 Pro Max with shoulder pod grip and Serui tripod, 7 Oaks grip to hold in the cold shoe a Rode Wireless Go mic, receiver on top, and buried under these scarves down here, the transmitter with the fuzzy dead cat that goes on top of that microphone. So we're cycling now directly down the street. You can see there is quite a bit more vehicle traffic than I anticipated. I've been pretty much in my flat the last 2 days preparing everything for lockdown situations which may be announced today. That's why we're going to head over to the Kanzleramt, Germany's White House, where I've already spotted TV crews setting up their theatrical lights, tripods and cameras, satellite trucks for an announcement to come from Angela Merkel. So we'll get there. I've been exercising myself, going up and down these trails to the Tiergarten. I started actually doing that in January, and I found it to be a really helpful escape every day, and now it's even more important to get out of your apartment, to get out of your house, practice social distancing, practice all of the safe protocols, washing your hands, waving, covering up, wearing gloves, but living life. And if you can't ride a bike, do some yoga. If you can't do some yoga, do some walking, do some running. This guy's running. I can't run, my joints are too beaten up from a lifetime of photojournalism, kneeling down and taking pictures in rough conditions. So I can bike though. And so here we are approaching the Victory Column. And I'm using the Filmic Double Take app in case you're wondering how I'm getting both these shots of forward facing and rear facing. The forward facing is the ultra wide lens of the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and the rear facing, of course, is the selfie camera. I have to negotiate traffic here. Now, this isn't new for me. Reporting from the bike lane is something I've been doing for a number of years. You can see, if you've ever seen any of my tutorials with Smart Film School or in my workshops, you can see I try to show this as a rather extreme example of what can and can't be done with mobile journalism. As we approach a scene, I'm going to hang back here. I do not want to get within 2 meters of people. There are families out, small groups. They're following the rules, and that is one of the things that the government was looking for before they make an announcement of a lockdown in Germany. Germany is pretty much on edge today because they may be imposing more severe restrictions on people, as we've seen in other countries like France and Spain, and in some states in America. So far so good. They seem to be doing a lot of asymptomatic testing. That is, doing testing of people who don't necessarily have a high fever or persistent cough or diarrhea or any other early symptoms of the disease, but who may just have been in contact with people. You know, government officials often get that kind of asymptomatic testing. You know, the President and Vice President of the United States, for example, have, and certain celebrities. But in Germany, the testing capacity is pretty robust, and it's one of the things that experts are pointing to as a reason for the lower death rate now. I'm really not that comfortable being this close to so many people, so I'm just going to hold back and let them pass. It's interesting how in just 1 week, psychologically, your behavior changes when you think that everyone around you could be contagious. And particularly when you've seen the scenes of the young people pretty much flaunting the dangers. We saw it on our airplane trip from Greece back to Berlin. We saw it, the Greeks really taking all of these precautions very seriously. There were national alerts coming over on our mobile phone every day. Our flight was going to be canceled, that all flights would be stopped from Greece to Berlin. And so this, well, this kind of pre-informed us. And then when we came to Berlin on Friday, we just went to the airport and got on the next flight once we started to get these messages, and we realized that Crete was going to be shutting down. They had pretty much said all the hotels were going to be closed, restaurants closed, and that's, if you don't live there, an impossible situation to remain in. So we begged our guests goodbye and hustled back to Germany and got ready to hunker down in case we picked up the bug. We've got 2 weeks of food, dry food, good stuff, healthy food, and we're ready. I'm just going to switch you over here just to show you a little bit about the activity in the Tiergarten at the moment. I also have to take a break with my hand as I went quite a number of minutes there driving the bike with just the left hand. Now, this is really important to be outside too, as doctors have been telling me that the vitamin D from the sunshine is a natural immunizer. And I've also been told by doctors to take zinc. Take a daily zinc pill. It helps fight viral infections. And so we've been doing that for a week. And yeah, just trying to eat healthy, exercise. Oh, let's go over here. Oh, now we're really off the beaten path. I kind of missed my exit there. That's all right. I won't run over any daffodils here as I make my way back to the path. It is a little difficult to ride one-handed, but that's why I'm coming over here to these smooth paths rather than trying to rough it in the streets. Birds are singing. People are doing healthy things out here. The sign says Hauptbahnhof and Reichstag, and that's where we're going. The Tiergarten means animal garden. For those of you who may be wondering, a tier is an animal, and so it's a little bit like Hyde Park, that these were former hunting grounds for the royal family. It's a very similar kind of history. There are statues in this park that celebrate that hunting tradition. And there are other statues here that celebrate other things. like music. You may think that this is a lot of people. It's not. I assure you. We are out every weekend on our bikes on these trails and others. And for a Sunday at the dawn of spring, with no rain, clear blue skies, these fields would be full already, even at these temperatures. Here we are finding another statue. This one has a few guys you may have heard of. Beethoven. That's Haydn. And that one's Mozart. Let's keep going. Switching back to the other hand. So far so good. Been going about 13 minutes now. I can tell from the time code here in the Double Take app. Leashes are good, yeah. I would think, if you don't want your dog to get run over. Okay. So for those of you who are interested in journalism things, in camera things, this app from Filmic Pro, the Double Take app, came out at the beginning of the year. And what it does is it allows you to record simultaneously from two different cameras on a multicam phone, like the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So you can select two of the camera views you want. And what I always tell reporters is make sure that the A camera is your self-facing camera if that's one of the shots you want for your story, because the camera, of course, is on the left side of the smartphone. So when you're looking at it, it's helpful to see yourself on the left side for framing. Speaking of framing, here is Brandenburger Tor, Berlin Gate. Okay, where we're gonna go is over to Parliament, or to Reichstag. Okay. So I'm just going to circle back here, and normally I would signal I'm making a right turn, but that's a little impossible when my right hand is driving the bike. But I'll ring my bell to let people know. Okay, so now we're approaching the Reichstag. And the Bundesamt. Yeah, okay, so here's a hop-on, hop-off bus, and there's nobody aboard. There are tourists. There are tourists. I have seen the occasional tourist here in central Berlin. but not like I normally do. Okay. Just had to jump that curb a little bit. Okay, where I want to go is blocked off, so I'm going to go in this direction. Okay, there's the Reichstag, Bundestag. And then back in the middle there, that's where the Chancellor of Germany has her office. She doesn't live there. No. She lives in a pretty normal flat a few blocks from where we do. And that's her office. That's the Kanzleramt. And so the government here of Germany is in these buildings. And it's isolated except for a couple of television trucks here. Satellite transmitters. Let's go wave to the boys over here. Oh, they're getting ready. The reporter is doing a stand-up. I can see that. I will attempt to not interrupt them, but to show you what's going on here. Okay. Okay, so our announcement will be coming soon. So she's standing by. She's doing her hair. This is Rob Montgomery for the Smart Film School in Berlin.